In this exercise, we're going to discuss creating center lines and center marks in Inventor. Inventor does a really good job of automating this, and it has some really good tools to manually add center lines and center marks as well. So to start with, I'm going to do the automated version. This is in the whole note drawing that we just got done working on. So I'm going to zoom in here. I right click and I come up here and I say automated center lines. It'll come through and ask me, what do I want to automate? Say, give me everything, give me only this, give me only what's in parallel versus normal. Hit OK. And you see Inventor does a really good job of throwing in way too much information. Now, with that being said, I would rather have way too much than not enough, so I can always go back and delete it. Try to do a circular pattern around there. Gives us our big hole. Gives us some little hole here that I'm not even sure what it did. We can go through and delete those and get a nice pattern and get what we want it to be. So if I zoom in here on this, up in the ribbon, in the symbols panel, we have the option to manually add center marks. We can come in here one at a time and say center mark and just click on it. And it'll give us a really nice center mark. So you say center mark and you click on those three holes there. We can do a centered pattern. So it says come in here and select the center of the circular pattern, not the first hole, but I'm going to select the center. And then what I can do is come around and select all of my holes that are in that pattern. Right click and say create. You can see I get a really nice pattern here. If it doesn't do something that you want it to do, you can always undo. You can actually extend this line on up if it didn't go all the way around. You wanted it to go full 360 degrees. So that's great, but what if you're looking at the profile of a hole? We have that option as well. We can come up here and we can say center line bisector. It allows us to basically pick two lines and puts a center line in between them. Whether those are really holes or not, Inventor still allows us to pick the two objects and puts a line down the middle of them. And it actually gives you the location of where that hole is. We can extend this out. See, that one didn't go the full distance if we wanted it to extend out past it for some reason. And then lastly, we can actually create a center line of selected edges. And basically what happens there is you select the two center points. Zoom in here. Say I want to pick the center point here, center point there, right click and create. So now we have the center line. Now the good and bad about that is Inventor doesn't really know what you're doing. So if I was to come up here and select there, or maybe from the middle of there to the middle of there, it'll actually give you a center line even though that's not really the center line. The same with the between two objects. There and there, and it's going to put a center line between it. These are very powerful, very easy to use tools. I usually use these before I use the automated one. The automated one, I always have to remove too much. It's pretty nice if I just have a real simple part, but most of the time if I'm adding center marks to an object and I'm going to take the time to put them in there, it's going to take me longer to do the automated one than it is just put them in there. So add these center marks, add the center hole pattern, do it automatically on this part, and then go back and undo and do it manually and see what the difference is. See what you end up with whenever you go from one to the other and see which one you like better. Whatever one you're more comfortable with, that's the one I suggest you use. If you're more comfortable with the automated, use the automated. If you're more comfortable with the manual one, feel free to use the manual one. Have some fun with it and see what you can do.